Hey guys, I'm
And I'm
Jacqueline,
Marcella.
and we are here to talk about From Blood and Ash by Jennifer L. Armentrout.
We finally read it, guys. This has been one that we have been looking to read for a very, very long time.
Yes, we read it for our A Court of Romance book club, and yeah, we were really, really anticipating this. Like, this was like the one that we were like, no, like, we have to read this like ASAP, and we've been craving it for like a long time. And I definitely don't like it did not disappoint. Like, it was so, so good. And I understand like the hype around it, but it's interesting because it like takes its time. Like, you definitely need to like this is all non-spoiler, but like you definitely need to plow through the beginning because it's very world building and you're literally like a fish out of water. Like, you're trying to understand there's so many different terminologies. It's a high fantasy novel. So there's
Yeah.
you're coming in, you're like there's a maiden, there's the ascended, and it just kind
Yeah, definitely.
of a
It's
lot.
a lot being thrown at you at once, and I don't want to say that I struggled getting through the beginning, but it definitely you have to push on. Like, it takes a little while to really for it to really bring you in and for you to be like, "Oh my gosh, I need to keep going."
Yeah.
But once it does, like, it's so, so good, and it just hooks you and you want to keep reading. So if you're started it and you're like, just keep going.
Yeah, no, you have to keep going because it's well worth it, and then you'll understand the hype, I think, once you finish it, and then I
Yeah.
think, like, it'll make sense why everybody's, like, talking about it and everything like that, and I think, like, for me, I did enjoy the beginning, like, chapter 2 and 3 when we first meet whenever it is that we first meet Hawk, I was like, "Okay, I really love this guy, I'm ready." And then there's like a chunk of the book in the beginning where we're kind of just like world building and he's not in it yet. Like, he comes back obviously, but like it like takes a second for things to really start
Mm.
flourishing. And what's really cool is the way that she wrote the world is it's very mysterious and like you don't really get answers. Honestly, you don't get answers until like the end of the book really. Like, you don't like it's a very mysterious world and it's still mysterious. Like,
It's
going
mysterious, but it's also shady. It's like
yeah.
you're learning about this world from the perspective of somebody who's been in it and who's just been taught like this is the way that things are. So, but at the same time, like it doesn't really add up like throughout the book where you're kind of like that doesn't seem like right. Like I don't know. Like it just seems very strange the world. Like there's more to it. And then once you keep going, it's like you learn more about the world and like what really is going on.
Yeah,
Um,
definitely. It's very like I was like texting Marcel and I'm like, this doesn't feel good. Like, this like I don't know what's happening, but this doesn't feel good. And I don't want to we don't want to spoil anything, but there's a reason for everything in the book and you won't understand it. Like, it's still like it's interesting cuz starting in the second book, there already is more world building. Like, the world building is still growing and you're still learning.
Yeah, I don't want to. We don't want to say too much about the world to spoil it for you guys if you haven't read it. But the second book is definitely going to be more world building. But I think it's also going to be more like where the story really kicks off, and I think it's just going to
Absolutely.
get better and better as the series goes on. I'm so excited to read the second one and the third one, which is coming out. I think it came out today, actually.
Yeah.
Yeah.
We're gonna be reading the next book and doing a review like ASAP, so please don't spoil us because we're just gonna binge through the three books that are out. And I think like I feel like once you get to like chapter like 13, like chapter 13, chapter 12, like in that like middle area, but not so much like the beginning. Like, it's kind of like a little bit past the beginning and then it really kicks off, and that is where the story really kicks off. But I think, yeah, definitely, like, going into the next book, like, now is when like shit's getting real and I'm just like dying.
Uh
If you
huh.
don't know what this book is about, I guess like the essential, like, the premise is we meet this girl named Poppy and she is a maiden, and we don't like you don't know what that is really, and you don't really like you learn as the book goes on and you kind of just adjust and everything, but she's a maiden, so
Basically, she's
she's
been like
very
chosen through the gods.
And yeah.
And
she's
she's like
kind of like
this
unstoppable.
like figure that they all look at, kind of. And there's also this rite, which is kind of like this event where I guess they like take people, right? Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, and then it's interesting because she's such a sheltered character where she doesn't even show her face. Very rarely, like in the beginning of the book, it's very like she wears like like this headpiece, like all white, and she's very like she's supposed to be proper and like on a
She's
pedestal.
not really allowed to have relationships. She
Mhm.
isn't really allowed to do anything. She can't go out and like leave
Yeah.
the
But she is an
castle or whatever.
awesome character to follow because she is a rebel and she tries to break free from that, and you learn that right in the first chapter. And she's very easy to follow and very likable, and she's really badass. She's awesome. She can fight. And
Hmm.
then I don't want to say how, but we do obviously meet Hawk, who is our main guy in this book, and he is
You guys will love Hawk, especially if you love bad boys and that's your go-to with
he's
guys in books. Then you
right up our
definitely love
alley.
him.
Right up our alley. He's right up your alley, you guys. Like this is a good one. You don't want to miss this book, and the romance in it is good. I think it's interesting because I know that this book is marketed as enemies to lovers, and like I guess it is, but like you'll say like
Yeah.
like you'll say we don't want to spoil it because now I think now we have to just go into talking more about spoilers and yeah, but
Yep. But if you haven't read it, definitely pick it up and read it and then read the other books in the series because it's just going to get better and better, I think. So I think that's all we could really say non-spoilery. We are going to do a separate video going into spoilers just because we want to be able to go into detail and it to be really long. So you could check out that video, but let us know if you're going to read this book and if you're going to join our book club.
yes, and yeah, definitely check out all the links in the description box below.
Thank you for watching.
Thanks for watching. Bye.
Bye.